Massive discounts across the crypto sphere today, ladies and gentlemen. Every altcoin is down. Hang on a second. I'm on the 1 month time frame. Let me check the day here. Wow. Okay, hang on a second. It seems that maybe I was wrong. Maybe today is actually a green day. Better FOMO in, I guess. A lot of people are really upset with me because on last night's video, I spoke about not buying in general. I spoke about not FOMOing in. And I got quite a bit of backlash on that video because, again, I pretty much told people, again, do what you want. It's your own money. But if history's taught us anything, it's that you shouldn't go and buy a bunch of coins if the last couple of days, when we've been at low prices even, okay, you were freaking out and wanting to sell. You fundamentally have buying and markets completely wrong if you think that you should buy on the green days and sell on the red days. So while days like this make you feel like if you don't buy, you might miss out on a pump that sends prices much higher and you'll never see these levels ever again. Let me tell you something from my personal experience. Low prices almost always come back around, and there's likely 1 in a 100 chance that it's the real move up and you might potentially miss rock bottom prices. The question is, should you buy crypto and altcoins today? Well, buying, like I was trying to describe on last night's video, can be described as two things: dollar cost averaging or FOMOing in. The difference is when you DCA, you don't care what happens to the price of the coin in the following days. As a matter of fact, you're almost wishing that price comes down more. It's never a bad idea, non-financial advice, again, because you're not worried what happens in the short, mid, or long term. You have a longer term perspective, and that can also mean a perspective going on as far as just this bull run. Maybe you think in the next 12 months there will be an alt season, so you don't mind. Whereas, and here's the thing that many people got wrong on the previous video, last night's video, where they thought I was all of a sudden bearish, even though over the last few months, I've been one of the only people on YouTube not falling for the "oh, it's all over" hype train, and I've been constantly telling you guys that I'm still bullish with reasons as to why, even updating my price predictions. But like I said, the difference here with FOMO is that you don't want price to go down after you buy. Okay, no one really does. Okay, but if you DCA, it doesn't bother you. When you buy based on the fear of missing out on this being that 1 in every 100th chance of price actually moving up and putting in some higher lows, then again, you're very emotional. It's always a bad idea to FOMO because you're buying based on price. If price falls, you get fearful and want to panic sell, or you're worried. It's like we've seen this, guys, time and time again. Even if you're new to crypto, you should by now have learnt the fact that almost every single time we pump here in these green arrows, a few weeks or a few months later, you can see here from this weekly candle to down here, it was a whole month. From here, it was like a couple months. It's almost always not the case. And, again, you'll miss the occasional pump when Bitcoin, pulls out of a channel, for example. But alts actually act a little bit differently to that. Alts, while they do follow generally the bullish and the bearish sentiment with Bitcoin, Altseason, which I'm guessing is why most of us are buying and hoarding our altcoins right now, only comes around when there is complete consumer confidence in the market, which we can best visualize here by looking at the business cycle, particularly in the United States, which is this chart right here. In these green bars are alt seasons every single cycle, and over the course of time, the highs and also the lows here in these red circles have begun to sync up with this business cycle. All this means is that when consumers, again, particularly the US is one of the biggest consumer bases in the world, when everyone over there is like, hey, I've got so much money I've got in my back pocket, I've got all my bills covered, I've got some of my extra expenses covered, I might go out and spend some money on gambling on altcoins, only then will we have new money come into the space to spend, which ultimately gives us our exit liquidity. Stay optimistic because that's what these moments are for, but don't get FOMO. FOMO is a form of buying, like I said before, but again, you must be buying for the right reasons. Otherwise, if things don't work out in your favor, you're now emotionally tied to price when that might be a very bad thing indeed. So what is someone like me doing? Okay, well, first of all, if you're subscribed, unfortunately, I just don't have the capital right now to continue dollar cost averaging. If I did, I would be. Okay, I'm a human too. Okay, trust me right now, I'm not AI. So what does that mean? Well, of course, I wouldn't be FOMO buying. I would be dollar cost averaging along this time. So that's first and foremost what I'd be doing. But of course, considering the fact that we've had all of this bullish news and hardly any bearish news, it is without question that what we're waiting for right now is not any individual crypto or Bitcoin specific bullish news to send us higher. What we're waiting for is macro conditions. Now, macro conditions impact different parts of the crypto sector differently. So for Bitcoin, global liquidity and much larger, broader macro conditions will actually benefit or negatively impact Bitcoin. Of course, altcoins will always move up and down with that general sentiment, but to cause alt season, well, that truly only comes again when consumer confidence is high because it's a form of gambling to them, okay? It's not this investing in any S&P 500 company. It's complete degenerate. They may as well all be Dogecoin for the most people looking at these coins, right? So what does that mean? Well, I personally would just wait until we have that macro headwind, that macro uncertainty finally cleared up for altcoins, and then look to actually go in. The alternative thing to do, of course, if you have itchy fingers, and this is not financial advice, right? This is my opinion, general information here, is that you could play this theoretically, where if you had some income, wait for Bitcoin to trend up to $100,000 and $110,000. Of course, it's always going to happen first, and alts will soon follow, of course. And if it does fall down in that, purchase, at least where it falls is never going to be as heavy or as impactful as alts will fall the same respect as well. And so you could take it up, sell it, and then buy altcoins from there. So you could buy a coin like Render. Even if Render is back up here, you've likely got more capital and so on. You're going to, of course, have tax implications across the way. There is, of course, a multitude of issues that may come up along the way. It's never as easy as buy low, sell high, buy altcoins lower. While it would be great, but that is roughly what you can think about doing because Bitcoin is also less risky than altcoins. So if you do have the itchy hand, that's something I would personally, look at doing myself. So if we come up, you're going to have ample opportunities like in these blue bars to be able to DCA into the coins because we're so low right now. As a matter of fact, we're so low, we're back into the even 2023 and 2022 prices for most coins. That you will, when altcoins begin going up, have ample time to know that whether these higher prices are sustainable or not. We're not waiting for just global liquidity, like I mentioned on that video last night, to go up. That's, of course, one great thing, particularly for Bitcoin, which again has that carry-on effect to altcoins in some degree. But, we need the skies to be clear for altcoins particularly. Old money can keep propping us back up again. And definitely, old money, like, us watching these videos right now that maybe took some profits or panic sold out of the market, we're on the sidelines waiting. That money will come in with a bit of new money. But for true alt season, we need that, that mania. We need that, kind of craze that comes along with it as well. Not only, but also I did talk about the fact that while March 24th was mentioned in a previous video, it's kind of a bit inception as me talking about me now. But we also had April 21st with a longer lead on global liquidity, which means that we could actually be in a fake out right now. However, we have bullish catalysts matching up with, again, some pretty bullish things in general. Okay, so this top sort of chart is looking at the pure multiple, which is basically minor revenue. And this right now is signaled a bullish cross. So this only happens where we are right now in the cycle, right before the massive last part of the bull run. We also have Bitcoin being oversold here on the MVRV. You can see this blue line doesn't come around very often. Matter of fact, this blue line only really comes around at the tail end of a bull run / in the early phases of a bear market. This means, again, Bitcoin is oversold heavily. Okay, so that's a good sign as well because there's only usually one way to go from the rock bottom in terms of oversold, which of course is up. We also have the Dixie, falling here as well, which again, we have a long way to still go to match some of these previous cycles here, which you can see the Dixie in 2017, 2021 here, kind of falling around 10% or more, which helped cause a massive surge in those rallies. But again, it's great that we've actually in the last 2 months fallen 6%. Some good stuff. All right, we have BlackRock now branching Buildle Fund out to Solana. Huge, huge, huge. Just general adoption, I think, here. You can see a Fidelity as well, $6 trillion in AUM, very close to BlackRock launching their own stablecoin. So is World Liberty Finance as well. We have GameStop here, likely going to be buying Bitcoin in the open market as a treasury reserve asset. As Marty Party says here, it is happening. Why? Because there's an executive order enabling the US Treasury to modernize its payment system in order to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse. All right, this may eventually lead to stimulus checks. At least that's what people are speculating. Okay, again, S&P is up because it looks like Trump's tariffs he's going to be announcing on April 2nd might actually come in softer than many of us expected. And of course, as a consequence, the S&P is back up. We're not above the trend line now. It would be good if we break above that and, actually hold it as support. But, things are clearing up. I'm just saying if this history, crypto, manipulation, markets like this have taught us anything, it's to be careful on these pumps because that headwind, what is still looming in front of us, can definitely send us down. Again, very volatile market here. Let me say it for the last time before we go, guys, is that we will have ample opportunity to find our place in altcoins. We have to wait for a few more things to click into place before we have any sort of alt seasons. Am I excited? Bloody oath, I'm excited. Am I really, really bullish on the next 12 months, maybe even as far as 18 months? Absolutely. I'm just very short-term. I wouldn't say bearish, but I'm just short-term cautious. When these headwinds clear up, you damn well best believe I'm going to be super over the moon. Maybe we do trend up for a while and maybe these things blow over our heads and I say, well, hey, that was actually the bottom back over there. But again, it's just how I like to play things. I like to be risk off and have that sort of potential upside still there. So being in the market as I am. So that's me all summarized essentially, guys. Very bullish, nothing's changed. Just cautious short term. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed. If you've made it this far, by the way, drop me a like and make sure you are subscribed as well. I really appreciate you guys, especially all of you who leave nice comments down below. It does make my day so much better. Talk to you all soon.